objectivity on what makes a show good or bad is, at the end of the day, incredibly subjective. Critics can disagree. The public can love a piece of media, and the critics can just be lukewarm. It's hard to express when a show comes along and you know that the general sentiment is that it's a fine show. Hell, it could even be good. But when it connects with you, when a game, a film, a song, or in this case, an anime for myself speaks to you, you remove all sense of objectivity or general group feeling and simply just enjoy it for what it is. Strangely enough, my video of Zenshu actually explores this idea with the protagonist of Natsuko, but for me, last season, a show did simply one thing. It simply brought me joy. But to bring joy, it has to have a bit of a dark setup. The idea of a loved one being in an accident is one of the most traumatic feelings. Thinking you could have just seen them moments before, smiling and waving goodbye, and then the next, you've lost them. Or perhaps they've fallen into a deep sleep that they might never wake up from. From Bureaucrat to Villainess, Dad's Been Reincarnated uses this as the setup for the show. But before you get there, the story follows Grace and Venya, the elegant and intimidating daughter of a powerful noble family. Or rather, it's the vessel for 52-year-old civil servant Kenzarabo Tondobayashi, who finds himself mysteriously reincarnated into Grace's body after an accident leaves him in a sort of coma? His wife and daughter care for him in a way he could never imagine back in Japan. Kenzarabo wakes up in a world of nobles, magic, and at an elite academy. Inside the very Otome game his daughter is obsessed over. At the academy, Grace is respected but feared. Her sharp tongue and presence are impossible to ignore. But now, with Kenzarabo in control, her intimidating aura remains, even if on the inside, she's a panicked office worker. His inner thoughts are constantly translated into eloquent speech, unintentionally earning him admiration from his peers and his would-be protagonist, antagonist, conflict person. Rather than playing the villainess more than anything, sabotaging the protagonist Anna's chances with the love interest and destroying their social standings, he actually focuses on applying real-world logic to a fantasy setting, reshaping Grace's reputation through kindness, strategy, and the occasional bureaucratic breakdown or life hack, I guess, all while assisting Anna in becoming the best version of herself. It's an hilarious, heartfelt twist on the villainess trope, where the goal isn't really romance or redemption or getting revenge. It's far more about striving to be the best person you can, and to do it within high society with grace, literally. So why did this show bring me so much joy? To the fact that I'll be throwing it on as just a quick little pick-me-up. Simply, it's a show that's a love letter to the villainess tropes and school romance and otome games. How do I even know this? Well, actually, at the end of chapter 7 of the manga, which I ended up reading in full or as much as I could, simply because of how much I love this show, we get a brief Q&A from the author, whom we learn that after some projects he was working on had fallen through, he decided to do a bit of a reset and to read up on the current manga trends. He discovered the villainess genre and got hooked, even though he was not expecting to enjoy it. He just happened to have his twist on the genre that he also would have loved to read, and he made it. It happened to go viral, and from there, well, it led to this being published to this very day. A person that's worked within the industry for 30 years, that's delved into a genre that they never anticipated enjoying, was able to make something more than a subversion. It's a love letter to isekai and reincarnation. It's a blend of comedy, and how would a 52-year-old man react and understanding the core idea of this world? He would freak out as he did, as we see Grace does at the very start, but they very quickly gather their shit together and work out how to be the best in this kind of good bad, strange, and to find the best of this whole situation more than anything. Do I believe that in part, Kinzarubo is a bit of a self-insert for the author? Yeah, absolutely. Considering it was also just a fun little online comic that blew up, it is also somewhat fitting. He, the author, in a sense, was reborn in the industry, in the manga industry, having an actual breakout hit of their own, hitting the #1 on Amazon. And you can tell that just from browsing his Twitter, he's not only proud, that he's also so grateful for the support he's gotten, and that he's a true fan of anime and manga. This feels like a love letter, because it is a love letter. It's an appreciation from someone who's worked tirelessly within the industry they love, and through a series of events that they are now working on something they love, in an industry they love. Bureaucrat to Villainess pays respect towards those that came before it, understanding what came before it and using it to elevate its own story. So the setting for the story, or rather the game, is an otome game, but it then asks the question, what if the protagonist of this otome game actually becomes so infatuated with the villainess, who's rather far more their best friend and a mentor, that idea of falling in love with one of the love interests isn't even a thought. That while there has been countless I've been reborn as the villainess anime and manga before it, that the attempt to have a villainess become good due to the new person being there, that it's not always that easy. But hey, in this, what if those people just sort of accepted an accident happened, and that the new side she's showing is so charming and kind of just accept it? Now, is that a little tragic to think deeply on? Yes. Do we even see Grace at one point in a future scene which sort of alludes to a repression, or that the original Grace is being kind of kept in a cage like a bird? Perhaps. However, this isn't the story for this, but I really do appreciate that the author will continuously hint at these ideas for the future without going too deeply into them. One of the best examples for this is the ever elusive yet pivotal future character of Grace's mother. Something I also appreciated from the anime's adaptation is that it's almost a beat-for-beat retelling of the manga. Not perfectly, and I would argue in some ways I saw some of that beat-for-beat of the manga and adapted it to work better narratively. One of the best examples is of the magical eggs, although while it's not fully explained in the first episode, we're shown them. And it's made clear that everyone will receive one, which is one of the most important parts for a student's first day. Why the eggs are essential is explained fully when the eggs hatch in a few episodes later. However, in the manga, we don't even get this small introduction early on. Now, does that deteriorate from either's quality? No. Rather, it's the love and effort that was put into the adaptation and the sheer quality of the source material that the small additions help elevate an already unique story. It's these small things that bring me sheer happiness. It's very much telling a story that, yeah, in some way or another, if you squint, we've sort of had it before. You can argue that it's not original, but frankly, when is anything? However, it's not the same. It also explores the idea of magic in the world, and how at a school with magic, especially ones where people are finding affinities for a specific type, it's natural that these students would learn how to complement one another's magic. It's every beat, from the small moments of thought that we see from Grace, Kinzarubo, thinking more in depth about the events, to interacting with the student council members, to them even adapting wands into more everyday objects, or just the introduction of an abacus. It's a world that is fleshed out, but still kept relatively small. While some concepts are explored around the wider world, for example, why Grace's family happens to employ hundreds of people to run the estate, it's not really for vanity. Well, no, that's a lie. It partly is, but it's also to help those in need, as we see with Grace's maid in waiting. from Bureaucrat to Villainess will stay with me as a story that I will gladly go back and watch for years to come. And I'm going to read every chapter of the manga for as long as it gets released. It's one of those shows that it was so good with the ending, with a cliffhanger that didn't really need to be explained, but it could. So I read the manga and it had the same cliffhanger. And then it kept going. So my recommendation is, if you love the anime, read the manga. I doubt it will get another season, and if it does, I'll be making another video just to rally my hype so I can hopefully get more people excited for it. Simply put, this show was just fun to watch, and the amount of stuff that was thrown at the wall to just see what will stick and then very quickly moved on from, it just makes it one of my favorite shows. But did you happen to even watch it? And after this video, might you watch it now? But with that all said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very, very soon.